Warning, the following video is rated R for retarded. In a world full of crime, corruption, destruction, and suffering, one man stands up and decides to do what no one else will. He will put his life on the line so he can go to the movie theater and review movies. That's right. I'm not kidding. This is Devil Dog at the Movies.
Hello everybody, it's me Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with a movie review. I haven't had a movie review in quite some time, and since this actually is a new movie that was just recently released finally, I decided why not? That way you can see my new opening, and of course wearing my new merchandise, of course. This is my review for Spongebob, Sponge on the Run. Yeah, I picked a good one. Honestly, I hate to say it, it's actually a pretty entertaining movie, and by far, it's very visually appealing because they use this really freaky animation style to where it's like very realistic CGI. Everything's realistic CGI, but the animation is like a stylized animation, almost like sort of a stop motion sort of thing to it. And after you watch it for a little bit, you don't really notice it, but when you first turn it on, you notice it majorly with the animation and everything. You're like, whoa. And it's really good. It's visually a very appealing movie, and it's got a tons of callbacks to classic episodes of SpongeBob, even tying back in to some of the older movies that they've actually had. I think this is the third or fourth big budget movie. Now, one thing I will say though, out of all the characters, I think Sandy Cheeks looks weird, photorealistic with the fur, and it looks like a real squirrel sort of, and it's kind of creepy. Really, it is kind of creepy, but the animation makes up for it. Now, as for the overall plot, well, you expect it's a SpongeBob movie. You're not going to have a earth-shattering plot here, but pretty much to sum it up, Poseidon pretty much is worried about getting wrinkles, and he uses the slime of snails to get rid of his wrinkles, and his one snail has run out of slime. So he pretty much puts out a deal letting anyone know in the whole area if they have a snail to give them, he grant them a boon. And Plankton takes this as his chance to finally get rid of SpongeBob for the final time, and pretty much gives the snail to Poseidon. And once SpongeBob and friends find out about this, they go on an epic quest to get all the way to Atlantic City. Yeah, no kidding, which is a massive area that is pretty much like a casino, in order to try to get Gary back from Poseidon. Now, that's really the whole plot, with some really weird stuff that happens along the way. Honestly, as they're going on their way, pretty much it's a road trip that a robot is driving them, and halfway through, give or take or so, it gets to this weird thing where they start having this dream, both Patrick and SpongeBob do, and it's set in a Wild West town, which is actual. This is like the only part in the whole movie that is actual real footage with real people. The rest of the whole movie is all CGI, and this is where it's really interesting, is where they actually meet up with Tumbleweed named Sage, played by the disembodied head of Keanu Reeves. And who's giving him advice and telling him when time comes you need to stand up against evil and show him your true power and all this. And so they go into this saloon, which is supposed to be a test that is full of cowboy zombie pirates, where they meet up with a guy known as the Gambler, who does a rap played by Snoop Dogg. That's right, Snoop Dogg does a rap with a bunch of pirate zombie cowboys as they're doing dancing. And they're supposed to fight off this evil main villain who's got all their spirits trapped, named El Diablo. And when he shows up, go figure, it's Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo is El Diablo. And, they have a short little stint that's pretty funny, involving them trying to escape El Diablo. It turns out light is, sunlight's bad for them. And they're able to defeat El Diablo and wake up from their dream. And that gives them, the power, the energy to, continue on their quest. And when they finally get there, pretty much they kind of get caught, and Poseidon's pretty much going to kill them, and he's going to execute them. And it's like on Friday or whatever, not we're going to have this big deal where we're going to kill, both SpongeBob and Patrick. Now, fortunately, the rest of the group back at Bikini Bottom just happened to miraculously see this video file that tells them that pretty much a news report. So they all jump into the Krabby Patty mobile, which a new and improved, supersized one, and they all drive, including with Plankton, because he feels bad because he kind of set him up, to have him killed. And they all get there to rescue SpongeBob. And when they get there, they have a big, long singing dance number, pretty much to try to touch the heart of Poseidon. And in the end, it doesn't work. Poseidon don't care. He's like, listen, you stood up to me. I appreciate that. You put on a heck of a good show, and I like it. But just give me the snail, and you can all leave. And this is the part where, Sage, Keanu Reeves' character, was telling SpongeBob and them, at the right time, stand up and do what you believe in. So they all do. And Poseidon, it's like, oh, okay, fine, makes a deal, and SpongeBob says he's going to be friends with Poseidon, and they all head out happily ever after back to Bikini Bottom. Now, the one thing about this movie that is really, really weird and intriguing is if you look at it, it has a huge tie-in to the new upcoming show. I think, what's it called? Camp Coral. They got a spin-off show called Camp Coral, where SpongeBob and friends as they're little kids at like a summer camp. Now, this is one of the only few spin-offs that Steven Hillenburg was okay with before he had passed away. And that's why he had helped work on this movie up until he passed away. He didn't get to see it launched in theaters. But he did also give the okay for Camp Coral. Now, all the other spin-offs that they're doing now, I don't think he would want that. In fact, he really didn't want to have any spin-offs at all. But he did agree to Camp Coral. So they do have several tie-ins to this to show what the characters look like, even though they're kind of conflicting information over the fact of how these characters all met and grew up, which I think kind of retconning old past canon in the SpongeBob series. Which, no offense, come on, really look at this show. How long it's like the Nickelodeon version of The Simpsons. Really, it just keeps going and going. Now, the thing I have to point out about it is, this is a beautiful movie. The effects are top notch. The animation is fantastic. And even the live action parts has really good makeup effects, really good lighting, and really good special effects. This movie actually is really, really good. It's entertaining. Like I said, if you're going into it expecting a really good thought out plot, you're not going to get it. It's a bare bones basic excuse just to have them go out and do some more shenanigans. And honestly, even though it's a kid's movie, I was actually quite entertained watching through the whole movie. And when the fact, come on, man, you got Keanu Reeves, which is just, he's like great. Snoop Dogg, how can you not love Snoop Dogg? And Danny Trejo. But then again, I think Danny Trejo is obligated to be in every fucking movie. I mean, seriously, I haven't seen him not in anything. I even seen him in a Nabisco commercial just the other day. So half the time, I don't think he even knows what he's doing anymore. He just shows up and they're like, hey, it's Danny Trejo. Give him something to do. But honestly, like I said, Steven Hillenburg did get to help work on this before he passed away. Now, the last thing that's kind of sad about this is this movie cost $60 million to make. And they had delayed it so long, when it finally got to theaters and VOD, video on demand, it's only made $4.8 million. So it lost its butts. It made no money. Now, maybe in the future with home sales, when it comes out on a physical DVD or Blu-ray, they might recoup the money. But currently, as far as I was able to check, it's only made about $4.8 million. And I think that is strictly just in theaters. Now, keep in mind, with the pandemic, a lot of movie theaters have cut back on a lot of their seating. So naturally, you're not going to make much money in theaters. Now, I couldn't find any data stating if that is the total money they've made, or if that's just strictly from the theater viewing, because it seems awfully low. Even for a movie like this, I still would think it would make at least 20-30 million. But still, 4.8 million, it's really kind of sad. And for honestly a pretty decent dang movie. I mean, if you have the ability, if you have video on demand, it's currently on Paramount Plus. So if you actually are one of the 5 people that have Paramount Plus, you can watch it on Paramount Plus, or just wait a little bit and they'll probably have a home video release. In the end, I can say if you're a fan of the show and if you do like their CGI hybrid version movies where they're like realistic, it's kind of creepy but really cool looking. The amount of detail and just the texture work is phenomenal. Everything, it looks like the whole movie looks like it's some sort of high-res PS4, PS5 game cutscene. That's really the best way to describe it. If you played the Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated and the cutscenes, it kind of reminds you of that in terms of the visual fidelity and quality. And the animation, the texture work, honestly, is really good. And while it's not a great story, it serves its purpose. You get from point A to point B, and you have your middle stuff. And much like most SpongeBob movies, it's got some weird stuff in it. There's only one song, though, really at the end. I'm not counting Snoop Dogg, okay? I'm counting when all the main characters are singing, and it's a big, long, drawn-out, singing number. And that's only at the end when they're wanting to save SpongeBob and Patrick. But in the end, I would have to say it was actually an entertaining movie. I actually, really did like it. It made me laugh. It has a lot of great animation, great acting, superbly detailed effects. Honestly, hands down, who would have thought SpongeBob has got better effects than damn Jurassic Park movies? But it does. But in the end, I can actually highly recommend for you to check out SpongeBob Sponge on the Run today. Honestly, throw a little love their way. I think they need it. And it's a great send-off point to the late, great Steven Hillenburg. This was Nate, a.k.a. Devil Dog, and I want to thank each and one of you for watching this video. Please leave in the comments below if you've seen this movie yet or if you plan to see it in the future. Make sure to hit the bell icon to stay updated whenever I release any new videos on my channel. Subscribe to my channel, please. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out until next time. Ta-da!